Unit 6, Ethics. Part 1, Listening.
Long conversations. Conversation 1.
Do you like eating McDonald's?
Actually, not very much. I only have it occasionally when nothing is available.
Then do you know McDonald's Happy Meals with toys for children?
Yes, I saw many kids eating and playing. I'm sure they are popular with kids.
That's the story in China. You know, McDonald's Happy Meals for children with toys have come under attack in the United States. San Francisco is one of the cities that has voted to ban selling toys with fast food to children that exceed certain levels of salt, fat, calories, and sugar. McDonald's was accused of deceptive marketing practices to children over the lure of toys as an inducement to buy Happy Meals.
Really? I've never heard of it.
Corporate Accountability International once launched a campaign to fire Ronald McDonald and encouraged headquarters to stop marketing to children by delivering petitions to individual restaurants.
Oh, sounds like a big campaign.
Yes, they gathered 20,000 parents and community residents' signatures on petitions and delivered them to the shareholder meeting of McDonald's.
Wow, what happened next?
A letter signed by 600 health professionals and organizations critical of the link between fast food and obesity was read at the shareholder meeting. But in his remarks at the meeting, the CEO asserted the company's right to advertise freely, to offer its menu and lifestyle selections, and to leave to parents the right to choose what their children eat, saying it is up to personal responsibility.
I don't agree with him. I think there's no ethical, moral, social, or spiritual justification for targeting children in advertising and marketing.
Right. Kids are exposed to advertising in a way never before seen. I don't believe in any advertising to children.
Write no more than 3 words to answer the following questions.
Conversation 2.
Did you know the news about Wei Sechi?
Sure. It is the hottest issue these days. Everybody knows and talks about it. What a tragedy it is. It should arouse our concerns.
You've said it. The young man's case stirred public wrath in the past few days over regulation of online advertising, with the debate focusing on whether Baidu should bear responsibility for the medical promotions it offers.
I see. Wei Zishi was a computer science major at Xidian University. He died of a rare cancer. The parents said their son learned of the treatment and the hospital by searching the disease on Baidu, and that the hospital was listed second from the top on the first page of search results. Before Wei's death, he had also posted about his experience online, calling the treatment useless and criticizing Baidu's paid listing practice.
Yes, I've learned of this practice a little. Paid listing is an internet advertising model used to direct traffic to websites. The system, under which an advertiser pays a search engine for each time an ad is clicked, has long been a major source of revenue for Baidu.
I've heard of it. As far as I know, this was not the first time that Baidu has been criticized for its commercial model. In November 2008, state-owned CCTV reported that Baidu sold priority placement for certain key medical terms to fake hospitals and unlicensed medicine suppliers.
But currently there is no regulation of this practice. I think the paid listings is a kind of advertising and should be governed by law.
In addition, companies that were involved in services that deal with human life should be particularly conscientious of their duties, be responsible for public trust, and be obligated to take up their social responsibilities when conducting their businesses. Complete the following sentences by using the exact words you have heard from the conversation or your own words.
Passages. Passage 1. Hacking is an act of illegally entering a computer system and making unauthorized changes to the files and data contained within. Ethical hacking works on the same concept as of hacking, but it is legal when it comes to implementation. Ethical hacking is a methodology that is used to locate the weaknesses and drawbacks of information systems or a computer over a network. The intention while deploying ethical hacking techniques is to hack the system in the same manner as a hacker would do, but the only difference is that ethical hackers perform it to find out the existing shortcomings and get them repaired. Ethical hacking is also known as penetration testing, intrusion testing, or red teaming. Ethical hacking assists the organizations to improve security in order to avoid the probable attacks on their IT infrastructure. Hackers are programming specialists who have expertise to enter a computer network. Hackers fall within two categories: ethical hackers and unethical hackers. Ethical hacker is a person who is professionally equipped with programming and networking skills and applies the hacking skills in order to defend the information systems. The prime purpose of an ethical hacker is to bypass through the security system and find out the loopholes that an unethical hacker may use to damage the information. The term ethical hacker has received criticism at times from people who say that there is no such thing as an ethical hacker. Hacking is hacking, no matter how you look at it, and those who do the hacking are commonly referred to as computer criminals or cyber criminals. However, the work that an ethical hacker do for organization has helped improve system security and can be said to be quite effective and successful. Ethical hacking lies under information security domain, and to keep the information secure, ethical hackers are in high demand. The professionals with a strong background of networking can try their luck to become an ethical hacker. The scope of ethical hacking is rising at a tremendous speed, and choosing it as a career will prove like adding a feather to one's cap. If the candidates wish to have a huge amount of job opportunities open for them, they must opt for this emerging field.
Choose the best answer from the four choices marked A, B, C, and D to answer the question that you have heard. Question number 1. What is ethical hacking according to the passage? Question number 2. Which one of the following terms is not ethical hacking? Question number 3. What is the major purpose of an ethical hacker? Question number 4. Why was the term ethical hacker criticized? Question number 5. Which domain does ethical hacking belong to? Passage 2. Hello, everybody. Do you know the doctor's dilemma? When a doctor concludes that a patient gets a fatal disease, he often finds himself in a dilemma. The requirement of honesty to tell the patient the truth, and the need to lie for the patient's own sake. Doctors confront such choices often and urgently. In their eyes, to tell a lie in order to shelter patients from brutal news differs greatly from self-serving lies. Studies show that most doctors sincerely believe that the seriously ill do not want to know the truth about their condition, and that informing them risks destroying their hope, so that they may recover more slowly or deteriorate faster, perhaps even commit suicide. Armed with such belief, many doctors may slip into deceptive practices that they assume will do no harm and may help their patients. But how will these deceptions help the patients? The patients really don't want to know the hard truth? Studies show that contrary to the belief of many doctors, an overwhelming majority of patients do want to be told the truth, even about grave illnesses. Many of them feel betrayed when they learn that they have been misled. We are also learning that since truthful information helps patients tolerate pain better, makes them need less medicine, so it can help patients cope with illness better. Not only do lies not provide the help hoped by many doctors, They invade the autonomy of patients and make them unable to make right choices. This is especially the case with dying patients. They are easy to mislead and are most often to be kept in the dark. Lies also do harm to those who tell them, harm to their integrity, and in the long run, to their credibility. Lies hurt their colleagues as well. The suspicion of deceit undermines the work of many doctors who are strictly honest with their patients. Sharp conflicts are now arising. Patients are now learning to press for truth. Yet believers in benevolent deception continue their age-old practices. There is urgent need to debate this issue openly. Practitioners of benevolent deception may easily find themselves in difficulty where serious consequences seem unavoidable only through deception. But the patients have rights to know the truth. If the practice of benevolent deception were allowed to spread freely, it might well erode trust in the entire medical profession. There should be no comfort in the old saying, "What you don't know can't hurt you."
Complete the outline below. Write no more than 3 words for each blank. Lecture. Good morning, class. Today, I'd like to talk about the difference between ethics and morals. Morality and ethics of the individual have been philosophically studied for well over 1,000 years. The distinction between ethics and morals is particularly important for philosophical ethicists. There are several elements to today's lecture. I'm going to start by discussing the definitions, origins, and source of the two concepts. Then, we'll look at their consistency and flexibility. Finally, I'll tell you the conflicts between ethics and morals through examples. So let's begin with the definitions. Both ethics and morals relate to right and wrong conduct. While they are sometimes used interchangeably, actually they are different. Ethics are the rules of conduct recognized in respect to a particular class of human actions, a particular group or culture. Morals are principles or habits with respect to right or wrong conduct. While morals are also prescribed do's and don'ts, morality is ultimately a personal compass of right and wrong. Then, let's look at the origins of ethics and morals. Much of the confusion between these two words can be traced back to their origins. For example, the word ethic comes from Old French word etiquette, late Latin word etica, and Greek word ethos, which refer to customs or moral philosophies. Morals come from late Latin's moralis, which refer to appropriate behavior and manners in society. So, the two have very similar, if not synonymous, meanings originally. Next, what are the different sources of the principles? Ethics are external standards that are provided by institutions, groups, or culture to which an individual belongs. For example, lawyers, policemen, and doctors all have to follow an ethical code laid down by their profession, regardless of their own feelings or preferences. Ethics can also be considered a social system or a framework for acceptable behavior. Morals are also influenced by culture or society, but they are personal principles created and upheld by individuals themselves. In other words, we follow ethic principles because society says it's the right thing to do, but we observe moral principles because we believe in something being right or wrong. So in brief, ethics refer to rules provided by an external source. Example, codes of conduct in workplace or principles in religions. Morals refer to an individual's own principles regarding right and wrong. Okay, here I'm going to move on to the consistency and flexibility of ethics and morals. Ethics are very consistent with certain contexts, but can vary greatly between contexts. For example, the ethics of the medical profession in the 21st century are generally consistent and do not change from hospital to hospital, but they are different from the ethics of the 21st century legal profession. In contrast, an individual's moral code is usually unchanging and consistent across all contexts, but it is also possible for certain events to radically change an individual's personal beliefs and values. Again, ethics are dependent on others for definition. and they tend to be consistent within a certain context, but can vary between contexts, while morals are usually consistent, although can change if an individual's beliefs change. Finally, let's look at some examples about the conflict between ethics and morals. One professional example of ethics conflicting with morals is the work of a defense attorney. A lawyer's morals may tell her that murder is reprehensible and that murderers should be punished. But her ethics as a professional lawyer require her to defend her client to the best of her abilities, even if she knows the client is guilty. Another example can be found in the medical field. In most parts of the world, a doctor may not euthanize a patient, even at the patient's request, according to ethical standards for health professionals. However, the same doctor may personally believe in a patient's rights to die, according to the doctor's own morality. Therefore, we can see a person strictly following ethical principles may not have any morals at all. Likewise, one could violate ethical principles within a given system of rules in order to maintain moral integrity. A moral person, although perhaps bound by a higher covenant, may choose to follow a code of ethics as it would apply to a system. So I've explained the difference between ethics and morals. That's all our time for today. Next time, we'll talk about some more specific fields of ethics.
1. Choose the best answer from the 4 choices marked A, B, C, and D to answer the questions you have heard. Question number 1. Which of the following aspects is not discussed in the lecture? Question number 2. According to the speaker, what is the similarity between ethics and morals? Question number 3. What is the main idea of the lecture? Two. Use your notes to decide if the statements below are true or false. Write T for true or F for false. Correct the false statements. 3. Fill in the blanks to complete the notes according to the information you have heard.